Henry had a deeper reason for opposing Danny's award than he claimed in Blue Bloods Season 14. One of the best aspects of the long-running procedural is the sense of family unity between the Reagans. However, the Reagan family was divided over whether Danny should receive the Irish Society Award. The issue came up after Blue Bloods' Grace Edwards returned with the news that she was rescinding the offer of the award, supposedly because Danny was a loose cannon who would make the society look bad if he received an award. The issue became so contentious that Blue Bloods' Reagan family dinner in Season 14 Episode 14, New York Minute, became unpleasant instead of being the usual break from the drama of the outside world. Danny even left early after learning that his grandfather, father, and siblings had debated whether he should get the award without informing him of the issue or asking him what he thought. Henry started the conflict by insisting Danny should not get the award because it was jinxed. However, his opposition to it came from a much deeper place than it seemed from these comments. The Reagans' history with the Irish award explained. Joe Reagan had received it posthumously. Blue Bloods Joe Reagan in uniform next to the American flag. The truth behind Henry's opposition to Danny getting the Irish award goes deeper than anyone expected. Henry insisted that the award was cursed because of Joe Reagan's death before the events of Blue Bloods. Joe's death occurred shortly before the series began and has always cast a shadow over the Reagan family, especially because he was killed in the line of duty by corrupt officers. Every member of the family has occasionally made emotional decisions because of Joe's death. In New York Minute, Henry was opposed to the award because Joe had received it shortly before he was killed. The Irish Society Award is meant to honor a cop of Irish descent who has performed exemplary service, and Joe was set to receive it shortly before his death. He was given the award posthumously, but none of the Reagans attended the ceremony because, as Erin explained, it was just too painful. Thus, Henry associated the award with Joe's death, which was the deeper meaning behind his insistence that anyone who receives this award dies shortly afterward. Similarly, Frank admitted that he had hoped Danny getting the award would make up for Joe only receiving it posthumously, introducing a tragic contrast in their views on the matter. Henry's superstitious belief about the award is rooted from Joe Reagan's death. Henry's insistence the award is cursed comes from fear of more loss. Blue Bloods the Reagans pay their respects at Joe's gravesite. Throughout the events of New York Minute, Henry insisted that Grace Edwards rescinding the award was good news, initially rattling off a list to Frank of other cops who had passed away shortly after receiving the award. Frank dismissed Henry's superstition as crazy talk and Jamie agreed that that was a silly reason to oppose the award. However, neither was considering the deeper meaning behind Henry's fear. It was not really about whether the award had magical powers to end people's lives. It was about Henry's inability to stop Joe from being killed. Henry's opposition to the award was rooted in his desire to control future events so that it could not happen to any of the other Reagans. Both of Joe's brothers are cops, as is Joe's son. This means any of them could also be killed in the line of duty. Henry can't control that, but he can control whether Danny receives the award, or so he thought during the episode. Thus, he was fixated on preventing Danny from receiving the award so that he could try to prevent Danny from dying in the line of duty. How Joe's death will impact the Blue Bloods finale. How the Reagans can pay tribute to Joe one last time. The Reagans had a beautiful tribute to Joe at the end of New York Minute when they met at a restaurant that he loved and toasted his memory. However, that doesn't mean his death will cease to play a role in the series as it heads toward the finale. One of the points that this story made well was that reminders of Joe's death can sneak up on the family without warning, and seemingly mundane actions can trigger fear and sadness. The tribute to Joe at this special family dinner suggests how Joe's memory may play into the finale. The final minutes of the series will take place at the dinner table. Thus, Blue Bloods' Reagan family should include Joe and the sacrifice he made in a toast to the family and the series in general before the final credits roll. This would wrap up the story of the family coping with Joe's death in an emotional and satisfying manner. The tribute should also include gratitude for Joe Hill, demonstrating full acceptance of him into the Reagan family. Blue Bloods finale will also seemingly include a final mission in which Frank attempts to protect the mayor from those seeking to harm him. This story might tie back in meaningful ways to the Blue Templar, the group of corrupt cops that killed Joe. Thus, the final story could honor Joe's memory by having other Reagans doing their jobs well and rid the city of violent and corrupt criminals who want to do to the mayor what Sonny Malevsky did to Joe. This could serve as a fitting and emotional coda to Blue Blood's final season.